Hello, and welcome to my Carb Sober Sunday. I am trying as best I can to go live on YouTube and Instagram every Sunday, and we'll see how that works out. I I would love to have you join in each week. Sorry, I got a phone call came in, even though Do Not Disturb is on, because if you didn't know, on the iPhone, I'm sure on Android too, you can put emergency bypass. So that was my mom calling. So, in any case, um, welcome. Thank you for joining. I have an ocean in the background, except this is now New Jersey. I am off the cruise ships. I was fortunate enough to treat myself to a 60th birthday gift of jumping on back to back 2 weeks of cruises. So here's where I'm at with a discussion this morning. I would love for you to interact with me, tell me your um, past experience, your struggles, your successes, getting onto this way of life or staying consistent on this way of life. I'm going to try as best I can to answer questions, but what I have been thinking about is, my recent experience on the cruise, there were a lot of inflamed, sick people. And it's it makes me want to just go, please, you have to understand, you have to learn, you have to know, you have to get out of the matrix, get on the let's say animal-based um train, get in the tribe. And unfortunately, many of us don't find our way here until we have a very significant, what we call why that makes you cry. Um, and then we have to really think long and hard about, even when we do know better and we do know the proper human diet, the optimal way to eat, the most nutrient dense way to eat, how easy is it to stick to it? And how important is it to stick to it and not continually falter on and off? We could say in and out of the carb ditch is what I like to call it, on and off the wagon, people call it. But to understand, for many, this is really truly um, an addiction, and abstinence is the way. And I'm probably going to do a separate YouTube video about the when I think back to the process that I went through at the very beginning, and you have to think, I mean, I know for myself, it was like, "Wait, what? Meat and water? And wait, what happened to my toast with my eggs? And what happened to anything? And, oh, what happened to my low-fat rice?" Or whatever it is that you think. Or, oh my gosh, I'm Italian, I can't give up pasta. And there's stages that you go through as you learn about this, and as you come to, I'll say, an acceptance about this. And I don't know, tell me if you agree or disagree. Is there a period or phases of grieving about giving up our beloved DOC, which I call the drug of choice, right? Giving up our comfort foods, giving up our connection with a lot of things, and our relationship with food is lifelong developed. And so I'm I'm thinking for myself, like, how did it start out? And maybe think about for you where you were at the very beginning. I think there's a bit of denial, like, oh, I don't need to change my diet that drastically. I could just clean it up. And I'm sure things will get better. And yes, they will for a certain period of time, depending on how much you clean it up and then how much you falter into a cheat meal. or falter into a cheat holiday or a whole cheat year because the cheat meal turns into the cheat day, turns into the cheat week, and for many turns into a long period of time because of the draw and the desire to really get back to what is habitual, normal, and comfortable. And we as humans like that. And we don't like change. And so at the beginning, there's sometimes that bit of denial. Um, and then it can get into anger. Like, why should I have to do this? Wait, I'm already giving up bread and sugar. Why should I also have to give up? And then you could go on to the whole list of things because for many of us, even fruits and vegetables are no bueno. And then you could get angry, like, why can't I at least still have my sweetener in my coffee when you might realize that needs to go or whatever it is. So, if you actually look through the stages of grieving, whether it's for a loved one or, grieving for anything, the next thing that comes up after denial and anger is bargaining. Maybe I can just have one bite sometimes, or maybe I can just have a small piece on special occasions. And maybe, and again, it's this stage of bargaining, I call this very dangerous, slippery slope where your ditch demon is in there trying to convince you it's all okay. It's okay. Come on, let's get at it. Just one. And one bites too many, and a hundred's never enough if you've been in any of my situations. So I'm looking in some of the comments, and I feel that people are fortunate if they have a very quick, instantaneous penalty for their cheat. Like Lloyd says, cheat causes instant knee pain. So it's very easy for him to stay true. For many, that little cheat doesn't have a immediate impact. And that then sends this beautiful signal to the brain like, well, that was okay. So when the next kind of thing comes up, it's like, well, I just did that and that was fine. I don't feel inflamed and I didn't gain any weight. And again, there's the start of the snowball. But these are what I call learning experiences, they're not mistakes. And I think that you have to really we all have to go through our own path and our own journey with this. There's no way that somebody like me is going to say to you, suck it up, buttercup. You got to do it. You got to do the hard things. Jump in, stay steady, right? What's that going to do? You have to experience the benefits of staying consistent yourself to drive that forward consistency. You have to experience your failures. And for some, like I say, the fortunate ones, the failures come fast and furious, and you check right on out and say, okay, now I get it. I have to stay steady. For some, for serious medical issues like epilepsy, there is there's really, when you look at it in that situation, there's no choice. And it's so when you think, and I hate to call that a fortunate person, but in that scenario, let's say that there was a benefit to being dealt that in life, right? And to get other people to understand the importance of consistency and not faltering is their own your own journey, your own path in this, and I can only be here. I don't wanna call myself a cheerleader. I'm very straightforward with explaining my experience, and I'm not parlaying that onto you that this is what you have to do. I I have to be abstinent. And I know for myself that that was the only way out of the hellhole I was in. And so I don't beat around the bush. I try to explain that for if you're not at your ideal weight, off all meds, no diagnosis, then that's really what you are aiming for. And you have to keep figuring out who's going to guide you there. You need a group. It's so amazing to not feel alone in this. Being part of a group, whatever the group is, find one that you feel comfortable in, that you fit in. Um, I'm going to be doing a January reset challenge in my group, and it's going to just be a lot of what my because, for me, this is all consistency. There's nothing that I'm gonna be doing in January that's different than what I need to do the other 11 months of the year. And it's part of hearing this and listening to this and being in a group with other people also understanding and doing this that becomes really empowering and very beneficial. It's another tool in the tool belt to get to your health goals because without our health we have nothing, and making sure we just keep learning and taking in as much information as we can of how to get there. And I know many of you who you wouldn't be here at all on my YouTube or my Instagram if you didn't have that level of intelligence and level of drive to figure out for yourself. Hopefully, we try to also expand it onto our family, but that's a whole nother topic for another video. But getting to that point where you're awakened to what has been so erroneously kind of brainwashed into us, as far as all the fruits and vegetables, gotta have a mammography every year, gotta do this, gotta stay out of the sun, gotta put sunscreen on, can't go out in midday sun, gotta wear your sunglasses. So just think about the opposite of everything I just said is how I lead my life. I have I've got an epiphany addiction, and once you learn and understand what has been so wrongly um, thrown at you for so long, and you're hungry for more, hungry for the rest of the truths, and being fully I'll say animal based. I'm not dogmatic about what you decide for you is your ideal way of eating. Obviously, if you're vegan or vegetarian, we'll probably have to have a little sidebar conversation. But I know you all here are heavy meat and fat eaters, and this will clear out mental fog, brain fog, right? This will help get inflammation down in every part of our body. And let's go, game on. Now we've got clarity of thought. Now we're going to figure out everything else. Last night, this was really rather disturbing because as I was away on my cruises, I heard about this New Jersey. I'm pointing up here in the sky because right behind me is the Atlantic Ocean. And, I'm hearing about these New Jersey drones. And let me tell you guys, this is really scary. I kind of heard bits and pieces about it. I didn't stay too connected while I was away to news, but people will love to write and fill me in. And yeah, it's well, it was actually a full moon. I think it's full moon tonight, but could clearly see multiple hovering drones out there. And I don't know if any of you know the answer to that. I'm trying to dig down and figure out what's going on, but this is really scary. It's like we have to really understand what's going on around us. And it's it's a protective mechanism that we have to fear, but fear is a very dangerous fine line thing because we have to feel strong and empowered instead of fearful because they that's what they feed on is instilling fear. So always remember that. Um, yeah, and so when I say, um when I say just keep digging in this epiphany addiction, it's, for those of us who are very analytical and inquisitive and thrive off this kind of stuff, it becomes a little overwhelming because there's not enough hours in the day. And so, but we can hook on to people who we respect and trust their opinion. And I have a number of those kind of people that really um, rely on for information above and beyond what I have access to. And so I hope, as you hang along here with me, I bring you along with me on my journey. I am not holding back, like um, different things that I do that might rock the boat of the carnivore world, or I, you know, I just want to hopefully you feel you're receiving just clearly authentic. This is my life. This is my information. This is my discovery of these topics. And if you've been with me for a long time, I think I've been on Instagram and YouTube about 4 years, or maybe this is my 5th year, something like that. But you've probably noticed, if you've been with me since the beginning, things are evolving. And as I get information about how extremely important being outside and the sun is, and the sunlight getting into our eyes and onto our skin, and blocking things like here, I'm going to show you, I've got a ring light here, but why? Because I don't want a dark, dismal video. I want people to enjoy watching it. But I do have all of my amber glasses at arm's reach, and I do wear these if I can't be outside working on my computer to make sure I'm getting the full spectrum of light. I know this is really gets overwhelming, and I know some of you might think I'm just kind of going a little nuts off the deep end with the red light therapy, the amber blue blocking, and the sunlight stuff. But I'm telling you, from what I am learning, what I am truly analyzing, a lot of scientific documents and well-respected people in this whole many different aspects of this is the matrix. I don't want to get into this conspiracy talk stuff, but the tinfoil hat here. But lots of different people from is there an agenda to keep us fixated and addicted on scrolling, to weaken the population? There's that side of it, but then there's the entire brain electromagnetic system that we are living in that thrives and requires sunlight. Um, what red light therapy do you have? I heard not all are good. Um, yeah, I was just texting privately with a friend who actually reached out and wrote that very same thing. I did a deep dive into this because I have learned from different experts in the field that flicker rate flicker rate on these devices is really important. And you want to get one with a very low flicker rate. And now here I am thinking, all right, none of you are going to go into Amazon, click on red light, whatever, and say, "Ooh, 29.99 on sale, and it'll be delivered tomorrow." What's the flicker rate? What's the wavelength that's emitted from that? There's all sorts of intricacies of this. So for me, I pull back and I say, not trusting China stuff on Amazon, not trusting that, because I know enough about the importance of flicker rate. So cut to the chase, Lisa. Um, One of the lowest flicker rate units available, again, from the deep dive that I've been doing, is let me just see if I can put in here. I'll put a link under here. Um, I have a 20% discount. It used to be 10%. I got the company to increase it to 20% because these red light units are not $50 cheapy Amazon things. These are sturdy, heavy metal, um, solid structure units. This is, and I look at it, it's an investment in my health. For as much as I understand for both my skin and bone health, red light does penetrate. You can actually wear clothes and it's effective. It goes because of the wavelength, it goes deep. Um, and for the eyes. Um, so EMR Tech, and I'm pretty sure if you use Carnivore Doctor as the code, even when you just go without my link, but I'm going to put the link in here. Uh, Let me see if I can find it quick on my computer. Maybe I'll just wait because I'll put it in the notes below here. And just remember, Carnivore Doctor, I'm pretty sure if that doesn't give you a 20% discount, then um, use my direct link, but I'm pretty sure. Sherry says, what should the flicker rate be? Good question. I've not been actually able to determine an actual flicker rate amount that is best or should be. So I continue to search for the lowest flicker rate by, again, I wasn't able to find that information, but I've hooked into um, people who have. And I am obviously, yes, trusting, but I'm trusting the opinion of a neurosurgeon. So this is who's deep into the quantum biology. So sometimes we just have to trust what source and who we're hearing it from, and sometimes we have to be skeptical and deep dive yourself. And any of you, if you find great information on that, then go ahead and forward to me. But for now, from the dive that I've done, is EMR Tech has, we'll just say, quote unquote, one of the lowest flicker rates in the industry. And there's a lot of great units, and I'm not sure of the flicker rate of, let's see, Bond Charge does red light units. There's, you guys know, there's a lot out there. But so I'm just settling in on, I've made an investment into this one and very happy with it. I would like to get a full body panel, but right now I just have I have the Fire Dragon unit, but really any of their units are awesome. I sit Indian style on the floor in front of it, and I just have it in my bathroom. I try to do it actually a couple times a day. Sometimes I'll just turn it on and be turned around and doing my brush my teeth evening routine, and I have it on also. But and then I know somebody's going to ask me about this as far as the eyes and goggles, and I cannot give you medical information here, and I cannot give you, I don't want you to do what I do without doing your own research, but I do not wear the safety goggles. I close my eyes. Um, I sometimes look off to the side while it's on. I do not look directly at the bulbs with no eye protection on. I'll make that clear. But my personal opinion, I am of the thought from a lot of things that I have seen, heard, read, researched, that this is the way I do it. So, all right. Since this is Carb Sober Sunday, and I am, so wow. You know how Dr. Lisa goes way off on these tangents sometimes? Well, remember how I started this video with the stages of grief? And we got to first one was denial. Can't possibly be the answer, can't possibly be what I have to do. Anger, darn it, I don't want to do this. This is not right. I don't want to not eat chocolate for the rest of my, all this starts happening, right? And then bargaining, maybe. Remember, I'm just giving a little review of the first three. Bargaining about how I can a little bit here or there. And then the next stage of the grieving process is depression. And people start saying, "But everything tastes so bland without carbs, and this is so boring. I couldn't possibly do this long term, and I'll never be happy again if I have to stick to this." Like, hear all that depressing commentary that you're kind of just your brain is chattering up because the ditch demon's like scratching at the door to get back out. And so you have to go through that reality of listening to what I'm saying. This is part of it. And change your mindset from those depressing comments to, wow, look at all the variety I still get with all these amazing cuts of meat, beef and lamb. And within beef and lamb, you've got 25 different dishes: oxtail, flanken ribs, ribeye, ground beef. We could just keep going on and on with both of those meats. So change the dialogue. This is not bland. This is delicious. Trust me, get hungry enough and plain ground beef tastes all of a sudden amazing if you get hungry enough, right? Um, and change that dialogue to, I am so fortunate that I found out that man, ancestrally for millions of years, they weren't entertaining themselves with the non-boring carbs of pizza and ice cream and everything, right? That came about to ruin the health of an entire population of people and worldwide, right? And just change those depressing thoughts of, you know what? I remember what dark chocolate tastes like, and boy, was that good, but onward and upward, no more. It's inflammatory. And just say that about all sorts of different foods. I know it's not easy. Suck it up, buttercup. It's not easy. Change is hard. Nobody likes change, but unless you make a change, unless you do hard things, you're not going to make a change. And are you content and happy exactly where you are right now? And if you are, go forward with where you're at. But I'm going to say there's a lot of people where we have to just keep saying, I want I want longevity, I want quality of life, and that means health. So there's no way around it for me. I can't get deep down into that carb ditch ever, ever. Um, and so understanding that I get out of the depression because I say, I'm elated. I'm elated that I found out, well, first of all, elated that veganism wasn't the answer. I'm elated that I know better and I can do better. I'm elated because I do have variety. I do have freedom. I have freedom to eat whatever I want at any moment. And I choose. I choose this way. And that's a really important concept. And then the last thing is acceptance. So I've accepted that I get to live this amazing, carnivore way of life. And whatever your way is, ketovore, carnivore-ish, lion diet, lion adjacent, whatever you are evolving to figure out and find works best for you is where you're at as far as this is going to lead me to optimal health. This is going to keep me at optimal health. Just keep going through and experiencing and making maybe little shifts and changes. So, if you're in my membership group, I have the Sober Circles PDF document that you print out and fill out. And this is an evolving process. Things that are in your yellow sober circle might need to get kicked into the red. And there's very few things in the green for many of us who do not have sober behavior around many foods. So think long and hard. Um, I just got a comment. I knew you were an eye doctor, didn't know you were a grief counselor. Thanks for the tips. Yeah. And these are things that have helped me along the way. Everything that I'm sharing with you, and I have One of my videos, I don't know how long ago I did it, maybe a year and a half ago, was one of my most watched videos of tips and tricks to get over cravings. And these are things that helped me out because, again, for me, I wasn't fortunate enough, like Lloyd, to have instant penalty when I was off plan. Off plan meant my brain was going, "Yippee, keep going. Remember, there's more things that you've been denying yourself that you wanna get into before you claw your way back out of that ditch." So, um, in any case, so I'm going to actually I give priority over in the comment section to members in my member group, and also there's also a member, um I don't know if it's a subscription here on YouTube. I think it's like 4.99 a month, and it gives a little symbol on your name, and I, try to head there first, but, um, Naki, hello. It's important to be outside without eyeglasses at any time of day, or does it only matter at sunrise, sunset? Um, yeah, so here's the thing with glasses. Obviously, I'm a big proponent of no sunglasses for the majority of our time. Now, and I'm saying majority being that there are those little tiny situations where if you're out on the boat and reflecting off water for 4 or 5 hours, yes, protect your little babies there. Out on the beach for 4 or 5 hours with sun reflecting off sand and water, we're not stupid here. We're being smart. I'm just talking about um oh, so TL Miller. So my member group is what's called Carb Sober Community. If you I'll get the link underneath that you're over on Instagram. So I'll put it underneath this video when I hook off. And then over here in YouTube, I'm going to post it now over in the chat. It'll just lead you to a page that'll give you information. But I have so much in there, so much information. Sorry, tangent. Naki, back to you. Glasses, sun. So, yes, we're smart about our eyes and the sunshine. But I will say those far and few between where I actually will need my sunglasses. Um, Clear prescription glasses also block the sunlight spectrum, and you want to, as much as you can, I get it. Some of you are like blind when you take your glasses off. You always say you're blind. You're not blind, but you get it. You can't see. So you're going to have to spend some time just still. Just lift them up over your head periodically, but correct. Or I should say here, especially at sunrise and sunset, for sure, no glasses, no contacts, bare eyes, bare skin. Um, so especially at those times, but any other time that you can get yourself outside, and remember, I say so important to spend as much time as you can outside. I know this sounds crazy. We live in homes, we work in buildings, we shop in stores. Our life, the majority of our life is indoors. And here I am. I think it's like, I don't know, 30 degrees outside right now here in New Jersey. Not so pleasant to hang outside, but pretty much 8 months of the year, it's awesome to hang outside. But I'm going to bundle up and I'm going to walk outside. Sometimes I just go out and sit bundled up, but my eyes and my face are at least exposed. Yes, there's cold therapy, and you can go out in shorts, bare feet, and tank top to intentionally stress your system with some cold. Um, I'm not there yet, guys. But when I post that, I will be laughing, I'm sure, or maybe not. But here's why I say this is an evolving journey. But yeah, get outside. And um, I will say I actually just this morning came across another study about red light therapy, and it was done on children and showed a significant reduction in myopia, which is the medical term for nearsightedness. And so like I said, I keep seeing more and more benefit to this. And, part of our problem is we are so blue light toxic. So even though this light, I have the amber setting on it, but um, the spectrum, the light coming off of this is still skewed to the blue light side. Computer screens, TV screens, phone screens, LED recessed lights, all typical light bulbs now are LED unless you've squirreled away some incandescents that are going to be outlawed. But in any case, we have to be really um, I I do not want to develop cataracts and end up with cataract surgery where they remove my natural lens, which is at that point cloudy enough to warrant surgery. They implant um, a intraocular lens called an IOL, and that lens, guess what? Blocks blocks UV. I've been trying to look further and further into information about that to see if any of you have impending cataract surgery coming up, if there is a particular um, brand of IOL that might be more beneficial in what wavelengths it allows in. But number one, if you are somebody like myself who has not yet developed cataracts, um, I'm gonna say, just here we go. Put the stuff on, guys. Block light. And in the evening, I know this you're gonna I had another little tangent before I started on, but you might say she's crazy little wacky eye doctor there, and she's got red and amber lights only on at night. Candlelight, moonlight, sunlight, firelight is what belongs in our eyes. Our eyes are connected to our brain. Don't think for a second what is coming in here is not part of a huge, complicated process. It hits the pineal gland. It goes to the SCN, super suprachiasmatic nucleus. And so you have to understand that this goes far beyond even my comprehension as far as the intricacies of what's happening. But let's just say, as animals on Earth, this is what is natural and intended for our bodies, and other things like the screens, the LEDs, the fluorescent lights, all of this has a detrimental effect. And remember too, like you walk into your home at night and you pull on the switch and your recessed lights, guess what? Your brain says, "Oh, light coming from high in the sky with a large percentage of blue light in there. It's middle of the day." Okay, it's giving a signal, and you want to clear up your sleep issues, you want to clear up health issues equally. And I'm going to say this, and never thought in a million years I would say this, but equally as important as what you put in your mouth is what light you do and do not allow into your eyes and on your skin. And so, like, equally important, what you do and do not put in your mouth is important as far as light that you do and do not let into your eyes. So that's going to be my thing going forward as far as trying to get you all to optimal health. And part of my thing, as you know, from leading my membership group, and my group goes all over the place as far as um, um, different entities of lifestyle and different um, all the conflicting information we get, like and what should we do? Fasting, not fasting, intermittent, extended, grounding mats, grounding our feet, like um, colonoscopies, mammographies, cancer treatments. I have sections in my membership group with huge amounts of information that you can go through of what I have culled over the past 16 years of being in this space, every time I would come upon something that just was an aha moment for me and, "Oh, I gotta get that into my cancer section. Oh my gosh, I need to get that into my fasting section, um, or my red light. I have a red light section now. I have a circadian rhythm health section. We have a book club. So any of the members who decide they want to come in and just read along section by section, I just give assignments, and then I have a separate book club meeting 1/4 of the way through the book. Like I give us plenty of time because this girl needs some time to get through the book too. And it's very interactive, and the all my meetings are recorded. I have 3 to 4 live meetings every week. I'm not talking about the book club now, that's a separate one, but the meetings are recorded, and I have about 150 populated. So if anybody needs a daily dose of Dr. Lisa, you can join now and join into the live meetings when you can, or go back and one by one listen to things like just like what I'm talking about now. I usually my group laughs because they call it my opening monologue, and I come on and there's just something that is helpful to me that I hope can be helpful to you. And as we go through, I everybody has the opportunity to talk, ask questions, lead the conversation in another direction, whatever. This is all about you all making the community what it is. And even the book club meetings, they're recorded, and they're so beneficial for others in the group who aren't even reading the book. Because why? So our book that we're reading right now is called Defeat Your Cravings. So the book club meeting isn't so real specific. It's talking about what was brought up in that section. So it just becomes another amazing conversation and meeting for everybody to benefit from. So I don't know. I'm really proud of what I've created in the group. I am just for the month I've had for this whole past year been in Mighty Network hosting this group. And there's an annual discount, there's monthly. I'm only offering the animal annual until the end of December because I am committing for an entire year until next December. And then I might keep doing it for 5 years, I don't know, but just in case I don't, I'm just cutting off the annual subscription, as of December. So if you want that annual discount, then jump in December. You can jump in any day of the month that you want. Jump in, jump out. There's not a month to month like, "Oh, I'm in for January," or, "I'm in for February." Nope. If you join today, December 15th, you are in until January 15th, and then it asks you if you want to renew. There's an automatic renewal, but it does remind you and says, "Do you want out?" And it's just really simple and straightforward. It's the only way I could do this because I couldn't administrate the groups myself anymore. So, all right. So let me see if I can put, oh, you know what? It doesn't. I just put up in um, Instagram, I think I put up there the link. Maybe I didn't. What did I just do? Huh. I don't know. I messed something up on uh on my Instagram live feed. Maybe I don't even know if I'm live there anymore. Hmm. Okay. So I will head down here into YouTube. Yeah, Angie, it's a total lifestyle. Angie, I've known Angie for a long time. She's carnivore longer than me, 18 years, I believe. She's probably getting close to 19 now, but um, it is a lifestyle. Everything about it is. Let me try one more time just on. I have no idea what happened on here. Oh well. All right. I gotta drop that. Um Dawn says she's having a problem with cheese. Yeah. So cheese has its own issues with opioid. And if you actually so in my member group, I have a dairy section with populated information on videos and articles about the addiction to dairy and about the opioids and the casein and then we also in the challenges section have a dairy free for me section for whatever members of the group are struggling with dairy or just want to experiment giving it up for a period of time. And then there's separate chat in there. So, yeah, dairy's a tough one. It's a tough one for me too. Cheese, heavy cream, sour cream for many people. Um, Let's see. I'm going to pull some of the questions over here. Papa Carnivore, sorry I couldn't make the meetup in Fort Lauderdale. Oh my gosh, you work 2 miles from where we met. Darn. But all right. So that's not to say we're not going to have another Fort Lauderdale meetup at some point. It was a day after Thanksgiving. I flew in to start my cruising trip. So we had 20 people there. It's meetups are so empowering and magical. And if you have never been to one, then just go to lowcarbevents.com. That's where I know some people post. I've been trying to post my upcoming, like I have my Carb Sober Cruise in there. And so if anybody, might as well put that link here in the chat too. I'm going to put that in there. If anybody's interested in jumping on the Carb Sober Cruise, February 1st through 7th, you are there's 30 more days to sign up until January 15th, as long as there's cabins available. So, okay. Let me go to, you know what, I get lost in here with all the comments. I'm trying to, okay, so somebody mentioned that there's a smudge on my lens. Hang on. Okay. I hope that's better. Sorry. That should be on my checklist to do before I jump on here, right? You would think, but but thank you for letting me know. We see you see my bed on Instagram. Huh. All right. Well, maybe you know what? This whole thing, oh, now I see my bed. I don't know why that would be. I didn't make my bed, sorry. Maybe I have no idea why this is screwed up on Instagram. All right. Maybe I have to just try to close out of Instagram. Sorry, guys. I don't know. I tried. Okay. Uh Adam says, I feel great on carnivore. I'm going to feel even greater once I do a decompression surgery for my cervical stenosis. Thanks for all you do. Yeah, and Adam had, I always have these thought processes. Any of this stuff is like, if I had only known about the proper way to eat or my parents had known, fed me as a child, and I grew up eating, I'm going to bet I'll bet an entire Bitcoin that you wouldn't have cervical stenosis right now. And so these are the kind of things that make me angry and that empower me to try to, as much as I can, just spend a lot of hours doing this. And yeah, it's rather disturbing that we were blinded for so long. That's really kind of funny. All I did was try to put the link in the comment section on Instagram, and it somehow did whatever. I know better than to do that in the future. Let's see. I want to get my wife red light panels or something for Christmas. I'm not sure what or where. So, let me see. I will put, as soon as I get off here, I'll put the link, but EMR Tech, I'll write that in the MR Tech So you go to emrtech.com and then code carnivore doctor. Here, I kind of put that in the comments. That helps because I don't know, I can't access the link right now. Um, okay. Yeah, casomorphines in cheese. It converts into an opioid, and so that's where the problem. So it's, I see the comments over here saying, "Isn't uh, I use a Brooder lamp for red light therapy." And then somebody said, "Isn't that like a heat lamp?" And then they wrote back, "Yes, it's a heat lamp, infrared." So um, there's a lot of different wavelengths in different red light lamps, and some of them are heat producing, the wavelengths, but you really, uh, yeah, there's so much deep dive into red light therapy. So now here I go, Lisa's light bulb moment, red light bulb moment. I'll do a whole separate video on information about red light therapy and the actual wavelengths, that is ideal to have in these units. And yeah, it is different than the ones that are just because mine doesn't really feel hot. I mean, it's a little warm as my hand gets close to it, but it's not like what they're talking about here. So, um, yeah. Oh, list lights, candles. Um, And the question is, do you have the glasses that you use listed? All right. So this pair of glasses comes as no prescription. It comes as a plus 1.25 and a plus 200 reader. And it comes also, you can have your exact prescription custom put into these. This is from that same EMR tech company that does the red light low flicker rate that I use. So, um, this is this is the Angel frame in clear. It comes in black. They have lots of different styles of frames, but that's what I use. Uh, do you like tanning beds at all, and can they be beneficial? So, very controversial. Most people are like, no, cancer, no, tanning beds. What are you doing? So yes, I do sometimes. Um, Ideally, you want to be out in the sun. Obviously, in December in New Jersey, uh, it's not happening, right? So on my Planet Fitness membership, I get unlimited tanning booth, tanning bed. Also, there's a red light therapy booth that also has a vibration plate. It's all awesome, all included. It's like $26 a month, and you can go to any Planet Fitness anywhere. So, starting in I'll put my Planet Fitness link in here too, because you will get no registration fee or something. Whatever, it's like $1 instead of whatever it is. So I'll put the link to that on this video too. But so as far as the tanning beds though, I will say as much as I can, I try to go south for visits in the vacation, even if you can get away for a week in the middle of winter and prioritize getting a lot of sun. But building up to that and after each of these, yeah, like twice a week for, I forget what it is. It's like 8 minutes in there. I've done some research into it. The tough thing is yes, you should go and you should find out what percentage UVA and UVB their beds are. Sometimes that's not so easy, but just out of curiosity, I will, when I go to Planet Fitness, I don't know, today or tomorrow, I will see if they will give me actual written documentation, or because, the employees behind the desk are going to be like, what lady? W- Go take your yellow glasses and hit the road, go hit the machines. That's probably what's going to kind of happen, but you get it. It's a struggle to, and then sometimes when I'm in, like, I'll take a picture when I'm in there of the little tiny small print sticker that's on there and see if I can go home and look it up. And but even that's hard because a lot of times it doesn't have the exact model number and all on there. So, um, okay. All right. I know I really kind of went on so many tangents and I didn't get to a lot of these questions. And I will try. I don't know. You guys have to let me know. Let me know in the comments below. Hit the like. Let me know in the comments below. Um, what's your favorite way for this? Do you like my monologues? Do you like it intermixed with answering questions, or do we want to do a full-on Q&A and let me try to get to everybody's question? Because I know everybody can learn from the questions too, but sometimes that that doesn't go well for everybody just to do a solid Q&A. Oh, yay. You went to my beach retreat in July. It was awesome. Loved it. Yeah. So, um, it's all about community. It's all about coming together. It's all about getting immersed in the lifestyle. I'm actually going to offer coming up doing a in-home, carnivore boot camp for people, to kind of get them reset and situated. I just think it would be so impactful and helpful. So, we'll see how that goes. And I'm, the closest I can come to, giving you as much time as I can to just express as much knowledge as I have from 16 years of doing this and researching is my member group, because I get hundreds, and I feel badly, but I get hundreds of DMs on Instagram a day, and I get I try to go into my YouTube videos and answer questions too, but it's not possible. And the best way I can do it is just dedicate my time, effort, energy, and knowledge um, into that group so that you have access to all the information I have, and to speaking with me and speaking with others who are going through, different things that you might be going through. And so here's one right here. Angie says she doesn't eat salt or butter these days. So the interesting thing that comes up in the groups with things like this is, all right, why do you do that? What benefits have you felt? Do you think you're going to stay doing that? Like, all of these things will become a conversation. And this is this is why I do this, is I just love interacting and getting people's personal experience. Like Angie, I went for a period with no salt, no butter. I did lion diet's typically ruminant meat, salt, and water, but I did it as ruminant meat and water for the uh, aspect of it that I was learning that there is an addictive factor to salt, and salted food, you'll eat 11% more than if it were unsalted. And I just wanted to do my own personal experience with it. I like to call it an experience instead of an experiment, because I just want to experience it and learn from it, which technically, yeah, we could call that an experiment, but some people don't like to feel like we're experimenting on our bodies. But in any case, thank you so much for joining. Please leave a comment below. It helps the algorithm, and tell me if this is something you would like me to do on an ongoing weekly basis, and if this is and kind of how you prefer it structured. I love getting feedback from you all, and thanks for joining. And hopefully I will see you next Sunday, or Tuesday nights. I typically go live too. So if you're around on Tuesday evening, 8 p.m. Eastern time, I'll be there too. All right. Have a great Sunday, guys.